Now, on the way back to work, it's vital for every organization to communicate with their employees. So some organizations have a welcome back to work message. I've seen some institutions where the CEO has done a short video explaining the steps that the organization has taken to ensure the safety of workers. Apart from these efforts, what sort of messages should be sent to the employees before they come back to work?
Communication is very, very important in times of crisis. I mean, when these crises happen, people are uneasy, they feel tensed. Yeah. So word must go to them to
comfort them
and keep them relaxed,
reassure them.
So they often anticipating some form of communication from their employers. Leaders must take the advantage of the situation and communicate well with their employees, their staff members. Now, this communication must be urgent, should be comforting, and it should address expectations when these employees are returning to work. Like you rightly said, some of them will package it in a short video, welcoming staff back from home to the work environment. And then some issues such as the health and safety protocols are also communicated to these staff members. And then the assurance of job security are also addressed, because that is the livelihood of these employees. So once leaders address those concerns, it increases their level of confidence in returning to work. And then the other issue too that must be addressed is the ongoing changes in the COVID-19 protocols of the company. That must also be communicated. So before staff members return to work, they have a fair idea of what to expect
when they return. Okay. Yeah. So aside the generally accepted protocols, the company has to communicate specifically what they are doing within their workspace for their employees, right?
Yes, because it's not only about leadership taking action. You must bring each and every staff member on board.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll have a situation where leadership is towing this line and you have some staff members also
going the other way.
When there is that lack of cohesion. In thought patterns and actions, it kind of brings some discomfort.
Okay.
So to speak.
All right. Now moving on, let's look at what channels of communication are ideal for such a communication.
In crisis management, I would say that all channels available in the organization must be utilized fully, because and employees must be aware. It could either be emails, it could either be newsletters, it could either be even bulk text messaging.
Okay.
Some information needs to go out there urgently, and staff must receive it. For example, let's say if the workplace is open and staff are in there working and there is an emergency that requires that they would have to take some urgent action.
Evacuate.
You could do the text messages. If you can do WhatsApp, you can do. If you send an email and the employee is on lunch break, they will not see it. Yeah, they will not get it. So all available channels must be used.
And I think nowadays most businesses have social media handles.
Yes.
And these have the tendency of popping up on our phones.
Yes.
So I think that can also be utilized, right?
Yes, that can be utilized. I mean, the advent of these social media handles was for entertainment purposes, but we've come to realize that they have come a long way to help the business environment. In as much as some people will say that these channels are not for businesses. I mean, if that is where you can get the attention of your employees, why not? Go for it.
So Andy, we have talked about the message and the channel. Now, who has to be the messenger? Who should be the carrier of this news so that it's effective?
Yusuf, you will agree with me that if the leadership is disseminating information to all staff members, it carries weight.
Exactly.
That does not mean that it's only the CEO that should be sending the messages all the time. The various heads of departments who also form part of the leadership of the organization can do that. Aside disseminating the information, there should be reliable sources to get feedback from staff members.
So there should be a two-way
flow of that information flow. It should be two-way.
Okay.
Because as to whether what you're doing in the workplace it's going down well with staff members or not, you can only know when you are getting positive feedback from them. And if you are receiving negative feedback, it also gives you an opportunity to re-strategize and see what you can do better.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, additionally, I think we spoke about the pandemic response team, and this team is supposed to be tasked with all communications and all that. I believe communication coming from this source as well would carry a good weight to be effective, right?
Yes, but like we rightly said in the first episode, the pandemic response team comprises of all the various leaders including the overall leader. So it is the mandate of the pandemic response team to plan and communicate whatever plans they have for the organization to all staff.
Brilliant. So should this communication, I mean, where does it end? Should it be continuous, or you just communicate and that's the end of it?
You need to monitor, because as part of the responsibilities of the pandemic response team, they are supposed to be doing ongoing revisions to the plan.
Okay.
Now, how do you do these revisions?
You need
by the feedback that you get. Okay, and then periodically you just go to viable sources to read about the changes that are happening. When COVID started, it was just around some areas until it began spreading. The crisis has now gone through a whole lot of cycles, and you and I would agree that the initial plan that most organizations has had to go through a series of changes, and it's very important. How do you get these changes in there? By reviewing, monitoring, and it's an ongoing cycle.
And evaluating
some of your action plans.
Okay.
Yeah, so to speak.
So at every point in time, you are in tune with the times and
updated on the true state of affairs. Yeah.
Great.
True state of affairs.
Wow, excellent stuff. Senior, thank you once again for your time.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate your inputs in all this. We thank you very much. Viewers, once again, we want to thank you for your time, and as usual, Please practice physical distancing, and also remember to stay socially connected.